Alright, once again, episode 6. This one's going to be a little bit different, so let me explain. One of my friends has just completed a Masters in Innovation Strategy at Central St Martin's, which is quite a popular arts and design college or university in London. And as part of their graduation, to kind of finish up the year, all the students of that year in product design, industrial design, innovation strategy, architecture, all those kind of degrees, put on an exhibition of their final year projects. So yesterday I went there to see my friend's exhibition, but didn't quite realise the scale of the rest of the stuff that's going to be there. So I got there about an hour and a half before it finished, thought I'd have a little look around, meet my friend, and then we'd move on. But actually it was a lot bigger than that. And as I walked around, some of the stuff that the students had put on was really impressive. It wasn't related to automotive or motorsports or anything like that, so it's a little bit different, but some of the creativity and innovation that some of these guys had really impressed me. Because it was later in the day, a lot of the students weren't with their exhibitions, and I really wanted to talk to some of them and just kind of understand a bit more about their project. So today I'm going to go and do that. I want to take the camera along with me, because one of the things I realised, which also applies in my field, engineering, when we're at university we have so much like creative energy and so many new ideas and like influences to bring to the industry. I really wanted to just capture some of these concepts and talk to some of the students about what their work was. And hopefully you guys will find it interesting. And it might even be a bit of promotion for them too. So let's go and check that out. So I'm in Central St Martin's, and this is the material future stuff. One of the key ones I want to see is there's an exhibition which is growing organic sequence. There's another exhibition which is closed with probiotics woven into the fabric, which is supposed to have a lot of health benefits. But generally there's just a lot of insight into possible futures for materials, where they're going and what might be on the market and kind of emerge in the industry in the future. So I'm going to try and interview a couple of people and get a bit more detail about their project. So let's go do that. Okay, so I'm here with Naila. This is her exhibit, and it's about using a synthetic squid protein. So Naila, if you want to tell me a bit more about that.
Sure. So for my project I looked at garment construction, and I wanted to eliminate stitching and kind of find an alternative, more sustainable approach. So I collaborated with a scientist and was able to produce a protein that is synthetically produced to mimic the proteins within a squid ring, which has self-healing abilities and is able to bind to materials. So by using the strip, I created garments that are able to be alterable, changeable, and for the assembly as well. So the garment, you can alter the seams for style or fit as many times as you want. It's machine washable, it's iron safe, you can go out in the rain, nothing happens. But the process, all you need is water and an iron basically, so you can do it at home. And once the garment is not wanted anymore, you can deassemble it to flat pattern. And what I did is I recut it and made a new garment out of it to enable garment utilization, basically.
Okay, so with these ones, what's the base material, I guess?
Well, I used cotton, and I've tested the protein with cotton, so natural materials, synthetic, as well as knit, and metal, so like embellishments you can add and remove as well.
Okay. And so what are your plans with it in the future? Where are you trying to go with it?
Well, I would like to develop it further.
Yeah.
Not the actual protein, but the system within garment utilization. So how do we make clothes more able for the wearer to adjust it and have more like flexible design within the garment and things like that. So it's more about looking at the system and how we assemble clothes rather than the protein.
Okay, and is there, like, do you only see a use for it in clothes, or do you see it having a wider use?
No, I see it having a wider use. Anything material based really, or anything to bind things or unbind or have more flexible design in general, I think it'll be a good implementation.
Yeah, so even like as we look to use more sustainable materials everywhere, I can see uses for this in like automotive upholsteries, race suits in the motorsport world and all that kind of thing, so could go far.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
So I found that project really quite interesting, and I think Naila had actually won some awards for it and was in discussions with some investors. So it's good to see people getting recognition for things like this, really original and creative ideas that can actually make a difference. After I talked with Naila, I went into the textiles area where they had some really cool fabrics and colours and designs on show, as you can see. After that, I went into the digital design area where I found this cool display on cymatics, which is just describing the interaction of waves and fluid. And you can see some really cool patterns emerging from the vibrations that the speaker is putting into the water. Then I made my way into the product design area, where I found this one, which I quite liked. The association between touch and memories. So in the context that certain memories can be evoked by certain touches. So if you have a nice memory of something and you remember associating some kind of physical sensation with it, having that sensation again takes you back there. In a sense, I guess that's quite similar to music and the emotions that music can make you feel. Then into the industrial design area, I found a display that I really liked. It was again focusing on sustainability, and this time it was using recycled chicken eggshells and something called alginate, which is a product of algae. I grabbed the exhibitor for that one, a lady called Madushi, and we had a talk. So here's the interview for that. Okay, so I'm here with Madushi, and her project is about creating biodegradable food containers using recycled eggshells and alginate. So here are some of the samples. But do you want to just tell me a little bit about how you went about this one and what inspired you?
Sure. So we all are aware of the kind of waste single-use plastics create, and the sad part is you just use them for 30 minutes and you trash them and they remain in the oceans for hundreds and thousands of years. So that's what kind of bothers me and everyone. So I started experimenting with some new materials that could potentially be an alternative for this material. So I started with agar, which is a common ingredient used in desserts, but its application in bioplastics are starting to be explored. So that's what I was experimenting with, that's where I started. And then once you add some kind of fibers to this material, it becomes really strong. So I use feathers for this particular experiment from chickens. So chicken is the most popular meat, and so you can imagine the amount of feathers or eggshells or bones or blood that are produced as byproducts. So I wanted to bring those materials back into the system and create objects that solve another problem. So that's how I created this eggware collection. So it's made out of eggshells and alginate. So in a street food scenario where you have the polystyrene containers, this could be the compostable, biodegradable alternative.
Yeah, and you were saying that when you place them in water, they dissolve.
Yeah, so if you soak them in water for about a day, it starts disintegrating, starts powdering in itself, and once you're done using it, you can literally crush it with your hands and throw it in the compost.
Yeah, this was one of my favourite ideas here, so it's good to see it sustainable, and yeah, I hope to see kind of stuff like this emerging in everyday use.
Thank you. Well, the next step would be to industrialize it and get the supply chains in order, which our current systems are not equipped for. So that would be the next step for me.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So as you saw, there's a lot of real innovative and creative ideas. And one of the things that caught me about it is that the traditional business model of having the big corporations decide the content that we watch, the products we use, and really holding the creative master key into what we consume. Now we're moving into an age where everyone's so connected, and there's alternatives to that big corporate model, whereas creative people, engineers, scientists, product designers can work more in collaboration efforts rather than having everything under one roof. So one person can work with another person who then manufacture something with another person. Perhaps if we can find a platform that enables or gives creative people that space to develop these ideas like you've seen here in their own way and under their own control, I feel like that's going to lead to a happier and more productive society. The main problem with that is funding. Obviously people need to live, so financial backing of some sort just to enable these ideas to be explored and developed is the crucial thing here, but I feel like that's where we're headed. So that's mainly why I was here. I wanted to introduce things that a lot of us would never see. Certainly I wouldn't have if I didn't come here. So that's something I'm going to be paying attention to myself. Even in the engineering, the motorsport, the automotive engineering world, it's the same thing. I have a lot of ideas that I'm currently developing at the moment, but taking time out of employment, so to say, or contracts is difficult. We all need income, but we also need the time to develop some of our ideas, and who knows where it might lead.